Today I'd like to talk a little bit about the 3 phases which you may experience when you undertake any great challenge, or indeed any form of training that involves a improvement or transformation of yourself. I'm going to correspond these 3 phases to characters from Egyptian mythology. They are Isis, Seth, and Osiris. I'm choosing these 3 because their story is that of death and rebirth. However, you can investigate whatever tradition you like and find a story that reflects this one if you're looking for inspiration and understanding of this principle. The first phase that you will experience when you start a new training regime or start working towards a great goal is that of Isis. In common everyday language, we'd call this the honeymoon period. And this is a time of great joy, and it's extremely easy to practice. Everything's so new and so bright that it falls into place and we remember it with great ease. During this phase, you're just finding your feet and you're full of enthusiasm, you've got great energy, you're yet to expend any force on this. So it's a wonderful time. How long this lasts depends on your own individual personality and indeed what you're learning. So some skills have a very steep learning curve. So to begin with, it's extremely tough to get any form of positive feedback. So things like that, the Isis phase can be nearly non-existent. It can be just at the start. Some people find they spend more or less time in this Isis phase. For me, most of any undertaking is in this phase, and it's just near the end that we move on to the next phase, which is that of Seth. Seth corresponds to death, and in this case, this sense of death is caused by your inability to keep up the adaptation or input of energy required to gain the skill or to meet the demands and challenges involved in the goal. And of course, death is really a form of transformation. During this phase, you'll find all sorts of interesting things happen. You'll find that aspects of your personality, indeed the very aspects that need to adapt, will try to prevent you from carrying on with this course of action. So you may find yourself feeling this is impossible. This is not possible to master this or to achieve this. I'm going to have to give up. You may find yourself coming up with other reasons. You may decide you don't have enough time, or you didn't really want to do this anyway, or it's not fun enough, or whatever reason that could draw you away from having to make the changes to yourself that are needed to achieve your goals. Some people don't realize this phase exists. So when it happens, it makes them feel like they're a failure and it's the end of the goal. It's not going to happen. And they spend their whole life working towards things, and when they get to a phase when they really have to apply some effort or really need to change strategy or emotionally change how they're feeling to do this, they give up. And trying to guide someone through this stage can be quite tricky if they've never gone to the third stage, the one we're about to talk about, before. They really feel they're going to spend the whole of the rest of their practice or the rest of this challenge in this very dark phase. And a lot of this is about attitude. If you can settle down, and without that great excitement, just keep working away, like a new life grows in the darkness of the womb, you start to realize that it's not a grave, it's a place of birth, and you can be okay with working without such huge emotion, and you can be okay with having to find other ways to do this practice or other ways to motivate yourself. After this comes a beautiful phase where the lessons you've just learned and the enthusiasm from the beginning combine, and you've got competency. And this phase corresponds to Osiris. You have gained both the ability to guide your actions and the competency to make what you want to happen. With the enthusiasm and the skill, you get a chance to enjoy the fruits of your actions. This could be the new skill, the new abilities in your personality. It could be the achievement of the goal. The Osiris phase is when you actually get to play a bit, because you have such an understanding that you're no longer practicing. You can start to thrive. In terms of this analogy, we could imagine it as a seed. The first stage of the seed would be it falling from the tree, and that this could be the Isis. It's been born. Maybe it was in a fruit, and this is all beautiful and lovely. Then there's a stage when the seed is underground, and it's invisible, and it's dark, and nothing much is happening, and it's not very motivating watching that. But then when we get the shoots come out, we actually get to see the results. We get to really experience it. That's this phase of Osiris. We've got the rebirth stage. Knowing that there's going to be a birth, a death, and a rebirth in every serious undertaking is really important. Having that roadmap can give you great instructions as to how to deal with them. Here's my advice on how to gain the best from each stage. During the phase of Isis, make sure that you are fastidious in laying your foundation. Get all the basic skills down. Don't let that excitement push you to rush to the next step. Make sure during that phase you train with great circumspection. You look around and you get a very broad understanding of what you're trying to do. Really utilize that initial phase to gain as much stability as you can in your practice. During the next phase, the tough phase of death, use whatever the objection is as your power. So if you find yourself thinking, oh, I can do this, this is beneath me, I don't need to do this. Remind yourself, if you're that competent, this is a triviality for you. So let's do it then. Let's display this great competency. If you find yourself thinking, I don't want to do this anymore, it's not fun. Oh, that's interesting. So find a way to make it fun. Find a way to enjoy it. If fun is what you're asking for, enjoy that challenge and make that part of your training. If you find yourself thinking, it's not possible, there's no way I can do this, it's beyond my capability, imagine how impressed other people will be, or how you will be, whoever's important to you, when you achieve such a hard to achieve goal. Turn whatever your mind uses as objections on itself and use that as the step to make it happen. When you get to the Osiris phase, enjoy that and build high. Really do perfect your skill and use that understanding that you've gained in this area and let that amplify throughout the whole of your life. So if you've gained great degrees of fastidiousness through your tea ceremony training, take that into your cooking and into your conversation, into your life. If you gain great strength in your bodybuilding, take that strength and that character into your personality and into your emotional life. Those are the 3 phases that you'll encounter in any great challenge or training, and I hope this roadmap helps you deal with them well.